think I've got it. Here we are. Hello, Bang Bang Romeo. So we've got Ross and we've got Stars.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Wow, it's so good to have you both here. So for those who don't know, tell us who you are and what you do. So I don't know who wants to answer that first. Or
My name's Stars. This is Ross. Richard and Cook are other members of the band aren't here, but the four of us make up Bang Bang Romeo, and we're an alt rock indie pop band from Doncaster.
so the thing that everyone wants to know is, how did you come up with the name Bang Bang Romeo? It's such a cool name, and it's just that whole kind of thing of where you go, how can I forget that? It's such an easy name to remember.
Cheers. We nearly forgot it because we had too many shots that night. We thought about who came up with it, but we were in Sheffield in a tapas bar, and it's when Stars and I just first started writing together. We just decided to take the leap into becoming a band together. We said, right, we need a name, and yeah, we had a few ideas. We had Bang Romeo for a little bit, and then we thought that doesn't sound right.
My grandma's not going to like that. Right.
No, so we had another Bang, but we're into films, massively into Tarantino films and stuff like that. So we wanted a title that could look like, maybe a movie title as well as a band name. So we stuck with Bang Bang Romeo.
And on the back of that, is there actually a cocktail called Bang Bang Romeo? I think that'd be quite cool, where you can go into a bar and go, can I have a Bang Bang Romeo?
There is, actually. There's a few places that do a Bang Bang Romeo cocktail. We've had, I think Heineken did a Bang Bang Romeo beer. We played a show with Sting in France at this. What was it, Ross? What's up?
Wine. Like a.
What do you call those places that create wine? A vineyard.
Oh, vineyard. Yeah.
So it was a massive show at a vineyard, and was supporting Sting, and they got bottles of wine and slap Bang Bang Romeo on them. So we've had Bang Bang Romeo wine, Bang Bang Romeo beer.
So did you just say you were supporting Sting?
Yeah. Twice.
You were how did that come about, supporting Sting?
Actually, really weird. We got requested, which is quite strange. We're in the middle of the Pink tour, and we had a few dates started around with Sting, and this was one of them, and we ended up going out. I think we've still got them, haven't we, Ross? We've got Bang Bang Romeo wine.
We have got them around somewhere. We didn't want to drink them just because, obviously, what the meaning behind them. But we played with them there, and then we played with them at Montreux Jazz Festival as well.
What I want to know is, did you drink him under the table? Did you go, right, come on, I'll show you how to drink?
No,
I'll have a pint of red wine.
To be fair, we were back on the bus, weren't we?
Really weird, but this is going to sound really weird, but we were playing Wembley Stadium the next day, so we weren't allowed to drink whatsoever, and we were up at 3 a.m, so we had to say see you later. But otherwise it would have stayed and partied. Shania Twain came up to me and asked if I was sticking around for the after party. I was like, no, Shania, I've got things to do, Shania.
So in terms of your whole journey, I mean, just the acts that you've just mentioned there straight away, people that you've been performing with, you mentioned Sting, meeting Shania Twain. I don't know whether you're also touring with her, and then obviously Pink as well. Tell us a little bit about, in terms of your journey itself. Has this just suddenly come overnight success for you, or is this something where you've gradually kind of built towards it?
Oh, it's been a gradual build for a good 10 years, really. Again, Stars and I met 10 years ago, just playing in a local festival in Doncaster. A couple of little stages. We were introduced to each other, and then we took it from there. We played a song together. I think it was in my mum and dad's room, and we just thought, wow, we had a connection there between the two of us. But then, it's been a slow, long process, really. We finally got Rich on board drums, who plays drums and does all our artwork, and then Cook recently. But it's just from really grinding it out to all the little bars, anything we could do, really. We were gigging as much as possible and
it
just
took a while,
working on our craft.
It took a while to kind of get everything in order. We were just gigging the circuit all the time with no real plan or anything like that, almost not taking it seriously. And it's only in the last 3 or 4 years since getting on board with our current management team that we decided to, take it more seriously and say, right, do we actually want a career from this properly? I mean, everyone's got a dream, and we're dreaming of all this sort of stuff, but are we actually going to go for this properly now? And ever since then, all these other things have fallen into place with it. So it's cool.
What was that whole feeling like that first time? Whereby was it Pink's management team who called you up and said, "Hey, listen, we want you guys to tour with us"? Because is that what you did do? Is that you took? Was it a whole European tour that you did?
Yeah. It was a good 2.5 month touring with Pink all across Europe, and played, Wembley Stadium sold out 2 nights in a row, Anfield, all the way to Olympia Stadium in Berlin and Paris, and literally quite literally everywhere. And it was amazing. But it all started because we did this show in London, somewhere called The Social. It was a bit of like an industry showcase sort of thing. We found out that Pink's agent was there, but luckily we didn't get told that before the show. Can you imagine Pink's agents in the audience? Like, oh no. But then she rang up, said, we're throwing your hat into the ring to support Pink. And then after a few more phone calls, it came down to Pink's decision, and she picked us. There were a few tears that day. Happy tears.
What was the buzz like? You obviously, I think there's that whole thing of having an intimate audience, which gives you guys probably a totally different kind of feel. And then suddenly you're performing to 60,000 people, or maybe even larger than that. I mean, how does that feel for you as an artist?
It was the hardest thing to kind of prepare for, because it's just like, how do you prepare for a stadium as big as Wembley Stadium? And we are used to playing. We've been fortunate to play the Isle of Wight Festival 5 years on the trot, where Mikey Johns at This Feeling gave us a showcase, just a little, their tent, and then the following year we played the Big Top, and then we opened up the Isle of Wight Festival on the main stage on the 50th anniversary, and that was a taster of, wow, this big audience, big festival audience. But then to go into a rehearsal room before playing big stadiums like that, it was a bit not daunting, but we didn't know what to expect. And then that first night is at Amsterdam, Ajax Arena. Jeez, that we'll never forget that first moment going out in the stadium and playing to the crowd like that.
The biggest we played to before that, like you said, was the Isle of Wight, and I think that was 20,000, and we got told that's the biggest amount of people for an opening act. So obviously we're buzzing, in that experience is amazing. But then, like Ross said, the first show for Amsterdam, there's 45,000 people there. So yeah.
Did you do that thing? Did you do that thing where you kind of just have a peek outside and go, "Oh my gosh, Ross, there's quite a few people out there," and then go back?
You're waiting behind stage like a good 20 minutes before you go on, so you're constantly like looking over the top, and you're like, "Yep, there's a few." And that wasn't even one of the biggest. I think one of the biggest was like 65, 70,000 sort of thing. And nothing, like Ross said, nothing can prepare you for that. But my God, do I trust the boys in this band? I trust them with my life, never mind playing a shuffle beat behind me. So going on that stage, it felt, for me personally, it felt easier than going shopping. it was so natural, and I felt so at home, and I felt so safe, and we've got such a great connection as a band. It felt right. Yeah.
So just for those, you're the lead singer, Anastasia, and Ross, you the
play guitar.
You play the guitar.
Yeah.
And in terms of, as time's gone on, in terms of your performances and obviously performing to bigger crowds, would you say you start taking a few more risks, in the sense that you're quite comfortable and you go, let's have a little bit of a play around now, or are you kind of at the moment still kind of going, no, let's stay within that safe zone? Does that make sense to you? Or
yeah,
we've definitely we've done, as the time's gone on and we've got more comfortable, and obviously with the band that we are now, we all, as Stars said, believe in each other and trust each other. We have taken things a little bit, especially on our own headline tour in October. We can just have a bit more fun with certain songs and, intros into songs. And then the last song we usually play, Invitation, we have a good, 5-10 minutes where Stars usually just ends up in the crowd somewhere. And we're always up for like pushing the show as much as we can.
So Stars, with yourself, would you kind of go, because performing to bigger audiences, and I'm only going by, stuff that you see, whether it's, Isle of Wight or whether it's Glastonbury, or, you kind of see that a lot of the lead singers, they start playing with the crowd, don't they? Does that kind of suddenly influence you and you think, wait there, I've got to do this, or I should do this, or I shouldn't do this? Or because you can almost have a car crash moment, can't you? When you go, hello everybody, and like everyone's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've had that before. The only difference is I don't stop saying hello until I get a response.
Oh, okay.
So, hello everyone. I've got all day. Hello everyone. Do you know what I mean? I've got more time than you. Hello everyone. Yeah, hello, and it kind of like gets a brand new audience inside, and well. Especially, a few years ago, we're very lucky that hasn't happened recently. So that means it's surely going all right. But I tend to do my own thing. I definitely get inspired by other artists, not necessarily for what they're doing, but for their confidence. And I've been pretty much going into the audience and kind of like, I keep the lads on their toes quite a lot, because I'll do something completely random and off the cuff, and they're like, oh, we're doing this now. And I think it kind of makes us closer, and it makes this like telepathic sort of thing where we can kind of guess what the other one's going to do next a little bit closer. But yeah, just it's a confidence thing, and I like to think that I've got the confidence to try new things on stage.
And I assume for the audience and the crowd, that's kind of things that they kind of love, don't they? Especially once they start getting familiar with your songs, where you're like, wait there, she's doing this, or they're doing this, they're doing something kind of slightly different, or giving it a bit more of an edge itself. So tell us a little bit about, you're releasing a single, you've just released a single. Is that, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, Stone Cold Superstar. We wrote it. It was written just before lockdown, basically. We decided it was going to be the single, and we thought, right, we need to get this recorded. And then obviously we were hearing things about places that are going to be shutting down, and studios and whatnot, and this lockdown. So we rushed into a studio literally like 2 days before the lockdown. Everybody did the parts, and then we kind of left it. And we're not really, I mean, we'd only just written the song, so it was really fresh to us. We were working with a really good producer that we could, if anybody had any ideas, we could throw it over to them. And we were just bouncing the ideas then from all our own homes in this pandemic lockdown, saying, oh, could you try this with the drums, try this with the guitars, and Stasi, blah, blah, blah. Until we were all really happy. And then it was like, right, we've just written a song, recorded a song in lockdown, let's get it out there. And luckily we've got a really strong fan base called the BB Army, and they've all stuck in and be part of the video. And it's just give us all something to obviously to believe in and work on while we've all been in a lockdown. So
who inspired you for that particular song itself, Stone Cold Superstar? Now, you've mentioned 3 names so far: Sting, Anastasia, Pink. Come on, which one was it now?
They were stars. I literally was in my car and I'm thinking, I could be, the first line of the song, I could be a king or a queen if I want. And I was thinking, if I put myself in Stars, because Stars and I would both write all the songs, and sometimes we write together, sometimes Stars will write a song or I'll write a song, and I just put myself in a shoe, and I just came up with the line Stone Cold Superstar. And then obviously from that we were thinking it changed how we thought about the word superstar, especially with what was going off at the time with all the NHS staff and the care workers, people in your local shops and stuff. And we're thinking, do you know what? There's been a shift on the superstar. It's no longer the hero on a Marvel film or a footballer, maybe. The real like superheroes are just the ordinary people who are keeping the world afloat at the minute, with what was going off. So it adjusted to how we originally thought of the song really quickly to what the real superheroes and superstars are in the world. So it's going to mean a lot to us, this song, I think. In
terms of writing, does there, for you guys, is it a case of, wait there, I'm writing this is how I want it done? Is there a lot of kind of, no, we're not having that line in there? You're like, yeah, but I really like that line. I've got to have that line in there. And then Stars comes out with, I don't care. I'm singing it. I do what I want. No.
there's it completely depends who wrote the song. No, like, I think, again, we all kind of trust each other, and we're all so open to putting critiques in a song. Like, we'll send a song into our chat, and the first thing is, let me know what you think. and straight away someone might go, I've got an idea for a chord change on this, I've got an idea for a line on this, and we'll often go with it. But if we don't, we kind of do, it's kind of like process by elimination. If there's 3 people in the whole band that are saying this is an idea that I think we should go with, then that one person kind of has to go, trust your band sort of thing. And also, like, if let's say I've written a song, I send something in, like, guys, I really believe in this, the lads will be like, we like it, but if Styles really believes in it, then there's a reason for that. So we trust each other's instincts when it comes to writing. But we love to jam songs out, and we're so open to like each other being like, have you got an idea for this? Or I need a chorus, I need a verse. And we'll send it to each other like that. Or we'll revisit an old song, go, let's design a brand new chorus together. Let's do that. It really is open to everyone having a good stab at it, really.
And often when we send a song in, say Stasi send one in, or I do, whatever, it's usually followed by, oh, it sounds like it should be on 28 Days Later. Oh, it sounds like it should be on Django Unchained. Oh, and that's how we seem to work with our music, and that's what what connects all 4 of us is like films. It's strange, but that is what we see straight away. Oh, you could hear that song on.
I'm waiting for the Tarantino album from you guys.
Yeah, well, that's what we want. Yeah. Or James Bond.
Or James Bond, yeah. No, yeah. I've got to be. But for you, Ross, what's been your biggest influence generally, where you look at someone and you aspire, where you kind of go, wow, or for you, obviously.
What, band-wise or
anything, maybe just generally in life and maybe band-wise as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, influence from growing up really was my dad playing music around the house. Vinyls was, they were always out, playing Beatles, Fleetwood Mac, the classics really. And he played guitar as well and wrote songs himself. So I think I just inspired growing up from what my dad was doing. And then just the Strokes were a massive turning point for me as a band that came out fresh, and I'm like, wow, I want to be in a band like the Strokes. And then obviously meeting Stasi, she's always like so like inspirational because of the things she stands for and the songs she writes all the time. So that feeds me as well. When she'll say, send something else, I think, I think we bounce off each other quite a lot in that kind of way.
You're going to start making her cry now, mate. Be careful.
It doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much.
How
about for yourself, Stars?
And same. And you know what? Same with my dad. My dad is my hero through and through. And Cook, the bass player, and Rich, the drummer, I think they pretty much would say exactly the same thing. We've all got this thing where, we're lucky we don't have any daddy issues. We all our dads inspired us massively growing up. And my dad, I was very lucky for him to be playing great music all the time. Whether that was Zeppelin, the Beatles, Bowie, Little Richard, Nina Simone, Bjorn, Shirley Bassey. I was just being almost force-fed all this incredible music. I'm so happy that he did. Ross is a massive inspiration to me. He actually made me want to write more songs, which is quite, something. It made me realise that I'm not just a singer, I can actually write as well, which was very important. And, I watch a lot of Freddie Mercury. I watch a lot of Freddie. I'm extremely inspired by Freddie. Not just his incredible vocal, but the way he has the audience in the palm of his hand. And I think that in itself is an art, and I find it very intriguing, and it inspires me a lot.
So there's going to be a lot of audience interaction then in terms of your performances then?
Yeah, I think we always say as well, like, expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
And in a Bang Bang Romeo show, you won't ever come to the same BBR show. And sometimes it might be a rehearsed change that we're doing. Or like I said, I might just randomly do something and the lads have to keep up with it. But, it's all based on emotion. The whole show is based on emotion. And emotions are always riding high. So, by the end of the show, it's a pressure cooker in the room. And, good luck.
I like that thing that you just said there, which was, my dad is my hero. I think sometimes there's not enough talk about that, is there? I know sometimes men get quite a bit of stick generally, don't they? Or whoever the father figure is, because father figures can take so many different forms. And I want to see a song on that. Okay, I've given you a challenge. My dad is my
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
I'm onto it. He loves singing as well. He loves doing all that sort of stuff. So now that we've been able to record in our homes and set up mini studios, he's like, Stash, can we do like some mini album together? And I'm like, all right, Dad, I'll try and fit you in the schedule, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, he is. He's my hero, and you know, he's also a massive inspiration when it comes to my songwriting. The first person I send a song is my dad, and he'll come back. He's so honest, and his critique is so honest.
It's that northern honesty. Where
Yeah,
totally. It'll be, Stars, that's rubbish.
I know, and that is, or it's just, yeah, it's good. But I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll start on that one again then, shall I? But I trust his judgment. I trust his judgment completely, and then I trust him, and yeah, he's my hero.
Would yourselves go into collaboration, or do you kind of go, look, we only fit into a certain style, genre, in terms of our musical style, or would you, say there was somebody who said, hey, how about a collaboration with rap music, as an example? I'm just taking extremes. Is that something that you've looked at, or you'd look at, or where you kind of got a violinist, or or a sax player, or is it a case of no, we don't really want to go and experiment in those particular areas?
Yeah, well, it's weird that you said example and rap, because we've actually got a single out with example.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a song that we wrote together last year. It came out last year, and it's called Love Yourself. So we got into the studio with Elliot, example, and wrote that song, and it came out as a single, and that went down really, really well. We've had Barry Westhead from Starsailor on keys in the songs, and we're always so open to collaborations. Like we love the opportunity for a challenge in terms of our writing. It's so hard to sometimes stay focused and stay pigeonholed when it comes to our writing and our recording, because there's so many different things that we want to try and do. So in the past, we've worked with rappers from Sheffield. We've done some recording. We've even gigged together a few times just to change the dynamics up a little bit. And we're so open to that. So
if I had a magic wand, if I had a wand, and I said to you, you can work with any artist, who would that be? That's for both of you.
We've probably got, as a band, it would be Hans Zimmer.
Yep.
For me personally, because I think it would sound amazing, I'd want it to be with Gaga. I think it would just be ace. I think she'd be a right laugh.
Well, you know what? We're going to send that out into the universe, and we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen, because it'll happen. So, I'm just going to literally just get a few more kind of things. So, firstly, when does your singles out already? Yes,
singles out now.
Yeah, and they can download it on Spotify. Is it all the iTunes, all that kind of stuff?
Everywhere, Deezer, Tidal, it's everywhere. You can stream it.
And are you your website as well? Bang Bang Romeo, is it .com?
Yeah, BangBangRomeo.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's literally all one handle, Bang Bang Romeo. It's literally everywhere.
So what's next for you guys? I mean, firstly, what have you been doing during this lockdown? Is it loads of writing? Are you producing an album? Or you kind of just going, I need some me time?
It feels like we're producing 2 albums. It feels like the amount that we're writing and recording at home. It feels like this is the most we've ever written. And why not? What times to be inspired by, and what times to, if you're not inspired by the times, you're inspired by the skeletons in your closet, because you're at home so much more often than you were before. You're bound to see them more often. So, yeah, what a time to be inspired. We're doing a lot of writing. We're doing a lot of recording. And for the first time, we're recording separately. We've always been together for that. We're working with loads of writers at the moment as well, producers, who we're trying new things with. We're experimenting, working with some friends called Heavy that we did a song called Shame on You with out in LA. We're working with an amazing producer called Sam Miller, and James Lawton from Electric Enemy as well. Constantly writing, constantly thinking of a game plan. Someone asked us the other day if our plans have changed for the year. And we said, right, we're supposed to play Glastonbury. We're supposed to play Mad Cool. We're supposed to tour UK and Europe. We were supposed to play America, South by Southwest. Has the plan changed? No. The plan hasn't changed. We still want world domination. We'd very much like songs to come out. We definitely, we just want to keep putting music out. The only thing that's changed is now our method in doing that. And touring at the moment isn't an option. So what we've done is, luckily we've got a very good, strong following on social media. But what we were just, we're timesing that by 10 now. So just changing the method to where we want to be. So expect so much more.
What are you kind of expecting? Are you thinking next year, 2021, before touring restarts, do you think? There's so many questions still at the moment because we still haven't got a cure for coronavirus.
We put the February tour, March tour back to October. So we're, fingers crossed, we are praying that, that is going to happen.
Because it does bring... Go on, sorry, Ross. Yeah,
it's just keeping an ear out and just looking at what's happening. And I know they're trying to do gigs in different ways. There's these car shows and stuff where you turn up in your car and where there is a will, there's a way. People will try and get to live music. We just hope it's going to be as soon as possible.
We've just done a Live Nation virtual tour. So we got to do a taster of that where we went live in quite literally all across the world, whether that's Australia, New Zealand, China, India, all of Europe. It was amazing. We got the opportunity to do that with Live Nation. So that was a first virtual tour. We've been able to do Global Pride and all that sort of stuff. And yes, we are fingers crossing for October. But we're also being realistic and going, look, if it can't happen, if unfortunately it can't, what can we do to make sure that time doesn't stop for the band, make sure that life keeps going? So we're writing like crazy. There's a lot of smoke coming off our pencils at the moment.
Is that also helping with your sanity as well? Because, that whole thing of, we are social animals. We do like to interact. You talk about Freddie Mercury, and Freddie Mercury, he was that kind of social animal where engaging with people, whether that's communication or whatever means, whereby when you're confined to your own home, and you're not allowed to go out, and you've got this 2 meter rule or 1 meter rule, nobody really knows what it is nowadays, that whole kind of thing, it suddenly becomes quite difficult for a lot of people, because we have that general tendency to meet people, give them a hug, and touchy-feely kind of thing, not bad way.
I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
Everyone, anyone. Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Hello. Gives a hug. Quite literally, such a hugger. I've had a bit of a wobble. I about a month ago, I freaked out. It kind of hit me that I was in lockdown, and I was like, because I'm extremely sociable. I see my friends all the time. I'm always doing that. I'm always seeing my grandma. Not being able to give my grandma a hug for 4 months now is really getting to me, and it makes you realise that as human beings, how much we rely on human interaction, how much we rely on being able to, even just touch someone's arm or go over to their house, and it's so bizarre. So I had a bit of a wobble where I was like, I don't like it, no, and now I've kind of snapped out of that and come back to reality a bit. But I think we've all found it weird in our own ways, haven't we, Ross?
Oh, definitely, yeah. So close to our families, like Stars said, I think that initial first few weeks when it was really harsh lockdown and you couldn't leave the house, not being able to see my family, see my mum and dad and stuff. And I just had a little baby just before lockdown as well. So that was really hard, especially for my mum, who just all they wanted to do at that point, give them a cuddle and stuff. They just couldn't do it. So, but plenty of Zoom, plenty of FaceTime and all that kind of stuff, just trying to connect. And as a band, we speak to each other more than we speak to our families. We're on WhatsApp, we're on phone calls to each other all the time, constantly all throughout the day. So, yeah, as hard as it is, we've done our best to try and keep in touch with everybody, just make sure everyone's all right all the time. So
I think that's the secret, isn't it? It's just keep communicating, as opposed to, it's important to perhaps take time out, but also at the same time communicate with those. Just phone up or say, hey, how you doing?
I think this is so important that, and if we take, hopefully there's many things that we, as a community take away from this experience. But I think one of the top ones will be the communication, and how, a simple phone call is so important. And yes, go see your grandparents and, spend time with your kids. If you're working so much, spend some time. I think this this goes to show how important human interaction is when we do it right. And I think that's what I'll be taking away from this as well.
Well, guys, look, it's been so wonderful, and thank you so much for taking time out, giving us information about who you are, what you are, people that you've worked with. I'm like, wow, and I wish you loads and loads of success. Please keep us updated about what you're doing, any singles, anything that you're doing. Send me any live performances that you're doing, and we will play them as well. So
I'll send you the new songs with my dad, Vimal. But like, got this new song, mate. What do you think? You're like, nah. I'm like, all right, I'll get back to it.
But guys, thank you so much. I'm going to just stop pressing record and just say my byes to you. So thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Cheers.